How to change the oil on a 2013 Kia Soul. What you first want to do is take the cap off, pull up your dipstick, and I got little towels to lay on. And I recommend go ahead and take off the filter, which would be right here. I've already done it. I had a recording and my camera messed up on it. And I went on and replaced the filter already. I'll take the filter out first before you do the drain plug. Once when you put your new filter on, make sure you did not double O it. Make sure the gasket's still on it. When I changed mine, the gasket was still stuck on the where it screws into it. It was not on the filter, so you want to make sure your gasket's with you, not stuck on here. Make sure it's on the filter. When you do that, I usually fill up the filter halfway, because when you put oil in the car and you start it up, it's going to mostly go to the filter first. So I usually fill the oil filter first before you do that. Then I went ahead and screw it back in there. Then you'll need an 18mm socket with the ratchet and a little catch pan too. And go ahead and take your bolt out on it. Mine's gonna be kind of hot. And just go ahead and let it drain on it. Not too bad, kind of nasty looking on it. Then you just want to go ahead and let it drain. So pretty much after the oil basically done draining, go ahead and put your drain plug back in, if you can. And just do it by hand. Make sure you don't want to cross thread it. That's why I say do it by hand before you take the tool to it. Once when you can put it in there freely. Okay, I'm doing it, just kind of spinning mine freely. Get it all the way snug. Move your oil pan to the side, your little catch pan. And go ahead and grab your socket and ratchet and tighten it up on it. Got mine here. See if I can kind of get under it. I didn't jack it up because I can fit under it pretty well. And you want to make sure you're tightening it. And you just want to kind of get snug once when it kind of stops so you can't pull it no more. I take your fist and hit it maybe 3 times just to make sure it's on there. You don't want to take no impact to it or a hammer to it. Just want to make sure it's on there snug where it won't come loose. So after you've done that, change your filter, drain the oil. Go ahead, get your oil in a funnel and head on back up to the top. And go ahead and fill it up to whatever your thing takes. Mine's a 2.0 liter. I think it takes about 3.5, maybe 4 quarts of oil for it. Alright, after filling mine up, I filled up the oil filter first when I put the oil filter in. So I just kept filling it up until my dipstick got full, because usually they'll stick about where it's supposed to be at. I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight where the level's at on it. But if you don't fill up the oil filter, if you just lubricated the seal and just put the oil filter in, I'd fill it up to whatever the specs is and start it up, let it run for a little bit, then turn it off and check your level that way and add it if you need to. But since I've filled up my oil filter first, when I put it in, it won't push all the oil down to the filter. It only push maybe just whatever I did not fill up onto it. So after you get to the right measurements of it, I kind of quit shaking. I'd go ahead and put the cap on. What we call it, my place that I do, we call it zooming it, which is starting it up. Let it run for a little bit, make sure there's no leak. So you want to put the cap on, give it a couple clicks, make sure that's on. I'll go ahead and put the cap on the oil. Just so no debris gets in there. And I would go ahead and start it up. And just let it run for a little bit. Check on the top, make sure nothing. Then you want to go on the bottom. That's the main part you want to look at. And look where the oil filter at and where the drain plug's at. Let it run for a little bit. Make sure it's not leaking anything. That I just didn't wipe up. It's just from the old oil where I spilled it. So just let it run for a little bit. So you see no leaks, so I'll turn it off. One on, one off. And I'll let it wait for a little bit. But after you shut it off, check your oil level. Make sure it's at the right level of it. If it's not, I usually like to have mine. I know it's going to say probably full because I haven't cleaned it off. Yeah, it shows a little bit more than full, but this little second stub here of the full, I like to have my oil right there so I know it's full. So let me go ahead and clean it off and check it. Make sure it's at the right level. So I don't know if you can see or not, but after just letting it start for a little bit, you can see I'm halfway full. So that means I need to add some more oil to it, to the full line. But that's why I say don't let it run for a long time, because if you're low on oil, after just filling it up, you're going to probably lock up your engine. So just let it run for just a little bit, then shut it off and check your level. So here, that's a good thing I didn't let it run for too long, because I could locked up the engine. So since mine's only halfway full, it means I need to put the dipstick kind of in. I let it out a little bit just so airflow can do it while I'm pouring in. So it means I need to add some more oil to it. So take the cap off again. Go ahead and grab your little funnel that I got and add some more oil to that and just kind of check. Take it out, wipe it off, put it back in, pull it back out again, check it, looks full. Go ahead and start it up. Well, put all the lid, the cap, and this put back in. Start it up, let it run for a little bit, check for leaks, and I'll show you in this video while doing it. Now you see no leaks, gonna shut it off. Check it again, make sure. You always want to be safe than sorry. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm at the full line now. I'll go ahead and put the dipstick back in. Take the funnel out, make sure it's not dripping all over the place. Just set that off to the side. And go ahead and put your cap back on. Screw it back on. Wait, do it till you hear some clicks. Just gonna kind of move some stuff real quick. Then go ahead and start it back up again. Alright. And you just want to go back under it again and check for leaks. Like I said, that's just from where I spilled it, changing the oil. And that's from where I spilled it from changing the oil too. So I don't see nothing spraying out on me, so it looks all good. So go ahead and shut off the car. Alright. I just usually let it wait for a little bit. Go ahead and pull out the dipstick. Wipe it off, put it back in, pull it back out, and check your level. If it's at the full line, then you're done. So this time, I'm basically at the full line. I'm just a little bit down low on it, but I'm near the full line, so that's close enough. If you OCD, I'm kind of that way, so I may top it off a little bit more. Just up to the ridge part, the big ridger part, where the F's at. And you can go ahead and do it, but right there, you're good. So you go ahead, put your dipstick back in. Mine don't shake everywhere. Drip some oil on it, go and just wipe it off. It ain't gonna hurt nothing if you don't, but if you're doing this for a customer, it'd make it look nice, make it look like you care about their car and treat it nicely. Just kind of give it a good dusting on it. And after you've done that, what I like to do usually after changing the oil, I like to check my headlights, the customer's headlights, Gonna turn it to the on position. You may need the key on, which for me, I do. Oops. Wiper's probably gonna kick on though. And I like to make sure the headlights work. So you got the little park lights, turn signals. I don't know if you can see it in this side where the sun's shining. And I just do a quick walk around on it, make sure all the lights working for my customer. So you see tail lights lighting up. Go and do it that way. Check your lights. They all look good on it. Then I'll do the turn signal. I don't know if you can see it or not. The side mirror is working. That side works. And just check your tail lights. So, do the other side. I just like to do it I just always been that way, work on cars. When you do stuff like this, you want to make sure everything else is up to running. So, tail lights working. Yep, this is working. So, let's do the high beams. Turn that off. The high beams, they're on. This high beam's on too. So, and if you want, since I'm just only one person, I'd have somebody have you or somebody go in the car, press on the brake pedals, and make sure the back tail lights works, which I know mine does work on the car. Third brake light's up here. So after you're done, check the lights. I usually would say, nope, don't want to start the car. But what I do next, if your car's been running for a while, don't take that off. If it's cold, which mine's warm, so I'm not going to take it off. Usually you got a little reservoir on it. You probably got like a little stick. Mine probably does, I think. And you want to check the fluid level. Make sure your radiator fluid's good. Your washer fluid, I don't got any, but here we don't really use it much. So I'll check the washer fluid, your radiator fluid. Check your brake cylinder fluid. So give it kind of a little shaking on it. And I'm kind of right about here. I don't know if you can see it shaking or not. Take the cap off. You see I'm pretty full on it. So I'm good on all my fluids. Check your air filters right here. I'll take that off. All there is just that clip down here. You got another clip right over here. I don't know if you can see it where my finger's pointing at. All I gotta do is pop that off and just lift this up and check your filter. That's your engine intake filter for your engine to basically breathe. You also, on this Kia, you also have a cabin air filter, which is inside the glove box. You gotta take the whole glove box out. There's I believe 8 screws, which I've already done it on this vehicle, so I know it's still good on it, because I know it changed about a month or two ago, so it should still be good. So the next, what I like to do after checking all my fluids and lights, I'll check the tire pressure. Make sure whatever the specs is on it to find out what your tire pressure needs to be on. Open up the door. It'll tell right on here. This is your tire size. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Get the camera to focus. Right here. So for these tires, the 2 rear tire and the front one needs to be at 33 PSI. Your spare tire, which is under the bottom, needs to be at 60. So I'm not going to do that. I may check it after I get finished with this video. But you can usually just look and see if it needs air or not. I got a tire pressure thing to put on it. It'll tell me what the things is. This one looks a little bit low on it. But these tires are fairly new, so I shouldn't have no problems with them. Then last, what I like to do, wiper blades. I accidentally hit the switch, but I want to check your wiper blades. Make sure they're in good condition, not ripped or torn or dry rotted. So go and check all of them. So they all look pretty good of them. I'm going to just check your back one here. Pull it all the way out and just kind of check for any bad spots on it, dry rotted or ripped. This one I just replaced not too long ago, so it's still good. So after you've done that, no oil leak, and you checked all your fluids and stuff, you're done. Go and close the hood and you're ready to go. So thanks for watching.